Hey guys, welcome back to the Hunter Base Podcast. What do Maverick Hunters do when they're not hunting Mavericks? They come back to the base, recharge, and shoot the shit. So, guys, it's me, Zeromaster, again, and this is going to be another one of those different podcast episodes. First off, CJ and I are planning to do part 2 of our E3 recap. We know it's pretty late now, but we are going to do part 2. Trust me, there's lots to talk about. And on top of that, the reason why it's not happening is our schedules didn't match. I only had a couple of days that I could do the podcast, and CJ was not available for either of those days. So it just didn't happen. So it's been a busy week. I'm actually recording this, an hour before I turn 30. So, I've got a big, 30th birthday bash tomorrow. So I didn't have a lot of time to record this. But anyways, this one's special because I have on as a guest, Vegeta 396, otherwise known as my friend Brandon, otherwise known as the writer, the mind behind Naruto Abridged. A few things to keep in mind, this was recorded around the same time as the one I recorded with Jordan or Excalibur. I think they're like a week apart. The other thing to note is that, so this was recorded in April 2017, so some stuff's going to be dated. We're talking about projects that may or may not already be out by now. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I hope you guys enjoy. This episode's going to be a discussion about anime, something that Brennan is very passionate about. And with the summer anime season gearing up, I figured it's the perfect time to put this since I don't have another episode. So, anyways, enough of my rambling. Let's get to the episode. I'll see you guys in the podcast. This is a weird transition because I'm just going to cut to it anyways. But anyways, here we go. Okay, bye. Look at this schmo here, Morty. He doesn't like our show, this asshole Vegeta 396. Oh yeah, Rick, that's not very nice to say about him, Maybe he just hasn't found the right episode. Morty, he's an asshole. He hasn't made an episode in like 6 years.
And whose fault is that?
I'm talking to you, asshole. I don't have a very good Rick voice, but I try. Also,
no, that
everybody...
actually wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad, actually.
Thanks. I just need a few more burps in there. But anyways, guys, with me, I have... You may know him from various different things he's voiced in, such as video games and, of course, Dragon Ball Z Abridged and Naruto Abridged. It's Vegeta 396.
I'm still alive? Holy crap. I thought he died a couple years ago.
Yeah. So, how you doing, my friend? It's been a little while since we last spoke.
It has been a while. Yeah, well, that's because I spent the past year in Japan, and that was... Time differences suck. It's like a 13, 14-hour time difference.
Oh god, tell me about it. Like, I'm trying to do another episode of this with my buddy, Jordan. He's in Australia, and we're trying to, figure out a day that works for both of us, and he's, 14 hours ahead of me, so we're just
it's asinine. It's ridiculous. It'll be like, hey, are you available? It's 3 a.m. Okay, are you available?
So we're aiming for another week, but, so, you were in Japan. What were you doing in Japan, I guess?
I was teaching English in Tokyo.
Yeah, teaching English, right. I had a couple of friends do that, but you've done it a few times, eh?
This is my second time. First time was in Kyoto.
Oh, okay. So the first time you were in Kyoto, this time you were in Tokyo?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay. And this asshole brought me back some games from Akihabara, by the way.
That's a weird way of phrasing it.
that
asshole bought me shit.
I mean, obviously, he hasn't seen he's only seen a few episodes of Rick and Morty, and he hates it.
You know what? I did go back and watch Drawn Together. That is a good show right there.
Fucking Drawn Together. That's a crazy show.
I love that show. It's ridiculous, but I love it.
So, we will get on to a moment here. We've got a topic to discuss, but I thought we'd get in a little bit of time because of catching up, because it's been a while. I mean, for you and me, it's only been a few months, but our schedules have been nuts, especially mine. So
it's been terrible overall. Yeah, we've been trying to get back on track for months.
Yeah, because there's projects, not just Naruto Abridged, but there's also like that Undertale playthrough, and just even get a chance to talk to my buddy. It's been tough, but I have more free time coming up than I
yeah, well, now I'm back in America. I'm on the East Coast. I'm back right next to New York.
You're back in New Jersey, the place that...
Back in New Jersey.
The place that Casey hates because every interaction she's had with someone from New Jersey has been unpleasant. And I'm like, no.
Well, then when I meet her, then I bet I punch her right in the face and be like, hey, welcome to New Jersey.
Well, I'm just like, no, you haven't even seen the good parts of Jersey. Like, it's really nice there, and the Jersey Shore. Yeah, that TV show totally ruined the Jersey Shore, but it's actually really nice. And
no, there's very nice places in Jersey. Very nice places.
Oh, the Jersey, fuck that TV show, the Jersey Shore. They ruined.
Yeah, that kind of gave everybody the impression that we're all like the situation.
Well, it's the Jersey Shore. Basically, from what I understand, it's a giant beach with nothing but arcades and bars and stuff.
Basically, it depends on where you go, but yeah, there's Seaside Heights, there's Point Pleasant, there's Keensburg. Those are all like beaches and arcades. Yeah,
they just like, and the TV show just fucking ruined it. So
it did. It really did.
Yeah,
ruined Seaside Heights. Yeah,
I haven't been to New Jersey since Anime Next 2014. That was a few years ago now. Holy shit.
Yeah, no. Jersey is very nice though. I do recommend Jersey. Yeah. Certain parts.
Did you ever get a chance to come up to Canada?
I've only been to Canada once, and that's because I had actually my first job interview for teaching English in Japan was in Toronto, so that was the only time I've ever been to Canada. I had to fly to Toronto for a job interview.
That must have been a drive.
It was a fly.
Like, because like New Jersey, like it's like an 8-hour trip to New Jersey.
No, I flew in a plane.
You took a plane. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm not that
fancy. Toronto was nice. Toronto was nice.
Yeah. We'll have to get you up some year for Anime North, and
I do like Canada. I do. It's a very nice place.
But anyways, I think unless there's anything else you want to talk about before we go into the topic, I think that's good for me.
I think we're good. Let's jump right into it. We bored everybody enough.
All right. So our discussion topic, we decided. Usually with my guests, I'll go over like a few and decide which one we want to talk about, and we figured this one would be probably the most entertaining to discuss, and the topic is really just anime, like where it is now and where do we see it going. So I guess like the biggest thing is we should start with is, how did you get started with anime?
My very first anime was actually way back in the day, Toonami, actually, when it was Toonami in its early days. I actually first watched Ronin Warriors. That was my first anime. I didn't really know what anime really was back in the day, so I kind of just watched a few shows not knowing they were anime. Yeah. And then I really got into Dragon Ball Z in middle school.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing was, I was only really into DBZ for the longest time, and then I saw a random AMV. Mm-hmm. And this AMV was of a couple animes. It was of Inuyasha, Ayashi no Ceres, Excel Saga, and Escaflowne. And I was like, wow, these all look pretty good. Yeah. So after the AMV, I really got into anime. My first real anime, my first like super Japanese anime, was Oh My Goddess, the OVA. Back in the day. Not the remake, but the original OVA.
I still have not seen Oh My God. There's a few of those like late 90s, early 2000 shows I haven't seen.
The series is terrible, but the OVA is great. The series, don't watch the series. Watch the original 5-episode OVA.
Okay.
That's really good. And that got me into anime, actually. If I had to pick the anime that got me into anime, it is a combination of Oh My Goddess, Animation Runner Kuromi, and Fruits Basket.
See, it's I seem to remember you saying those three animes in succession somewhere. Maybe it was somewhere in Naruto Abridged that I can't remember.
Yeah, well, no. I don't think I ever mentioned Animation Runner Kuromi in Naruto Abridged.
I'm pretty sure you have.
Have I?
I don't know. Maybe you haven't, but I feel like
that is the best anime movie, period, ever. Winner, just hands down.
What was the fucking and you and I, like, it's funny because we have different perspectives, because I grew up in Canada and obviously you grew up in the States, and most people probably listening to this know about Toonami and, all that stuff. And for me, like, I've got anime through like what was available through Deeks deals with like YTV. So the first anime that I noticed it was anime that I can remember watching. The very first anime I ever watched was 8-Man, because my dad bought it on VHS. I watched it when I was really young.
Yeah, I got a copy of that somewhere.
I watched it when I was really young. I still have the VHS. It's still in perfect condition, so I was thinking of backing it up and putting it on DVD or something so I could watch it in the future, but it's I didn't know it was anime. It was just all cartoons to me back then because I was really young when my dad bought that on VHS.
Same with me, Road Warriors, yeah. What was your first anime? Like you went, ooh, I'm gonna watch an anime.
The first time I realized something was different was Sailor Moon. And Sailor Moon, it was funny because Sailor Moon was like a secret. Like all the guys watched it at my school, but none of them admitted to watching it because it's a girl anime, right?
Well, what was your first wasn't on TV anime then?
Wasn't on TV?
Yeah, you went out of your way to find it.
Well, let me build up to that here. So I would come home from school every day to watch Sailor Moon after school. The Amazing Deke dub, where 2 of the Sailor Scouts were cousins, not lesbian lovers.
Yeah, same in the U.S. Same in the U.S.
Yeah, and it's the same dub. We got the same dub.
And Zoe Sight was a woman.
Zoe Sight was that exactly. And
I never questioned that when I was a kid because when you're a kid, that just makes sense. I don't know.
So Sailor Moon was the first time I noticed something was different. My love of anime really didn't start until, with like most people, Dragon Ball Z. Me and my brother watched that around the same time I guess you were watching it because we were it came to YTV basically around the same time, and I don't know how it broadcast for you guys, but I think it was Ocean dub up until Goku arrives on Namek, and then they stopped it for like a month and just kept replaying the old episodes, and then they switched to the funny dub when Goku arrived. The funny dub all the way up until like the start of the Cell Saga, and they went back to Ocean. Then they went back to Funny, and then they did the same thing in the Boo Saga. They went back between Ocean and Funny like 3 or 4 times. It was weird, but
I do enjoy the Ocean dub. The Ocean dub's a really fun one.
I do love it. I do especially love the early seasons with the Mega Man music and the guy who voices Mega Man voicing Goku.
Oh, Richard Cox, right?
What was that?
Was it Richard Cox? Richard Ian Cox?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But that was the guy he voiced Ranma, Richard Cox.
I just remember, like, one of the lines that I always remember from the Ocean dub is when Vegeta turns into the Great Ape. Goku goes, "Now he's really getting huge!"
You know what? The thing is, I'm so mad because every single iteration of the dub in that doesn't have Ocean Raditz. And Justin Cook, I love the guy. He's awesome as Yusuke, but Jason Gray Stanford is just so good as Raditz. Just so good. I can't get over that.
That and the way Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wish there was a game with Jason Gray Stanford as Raditz. A single game.
You're kind of a Raditz connoisseur, though, so...
I am a Raditz. I check... I'm so sad. I check his wiki every couple months to see if there's an update if he's been in something else.
It's funny, like, there was so much limited, like, DBZ stuff coming out. Like, it wasn't until the video games we started discovering, like, the other movie villains, and me and my brother just had this... like, we didn't know who Bojack was, but we loved his name so much, we would just go, "Bojack!" we're just like,
for the very first few episodes, I actually was Bojack in the bridge.
Yeah, I know. I remember. I went back and watched that.
You're Ivy Bojack.
We didn't know who he was, but I would just like walk in the room and be like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing?" "Oh, not too much. Just having a chat with Bojack."
You know what, though? I still say, out of all the DBZ villains from the movies, my favorite's still Turles. I love Turles.
It's hard for me to pick a favorite. I think I like
Hands
Super
down
13.
Turles, not even close. That movie does when he just owns Goku's face. Goku's like, "Spirit Bomb," and he's like, "No."
I love 13 because he's such like a fucking he's such a fucking hick. "Don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut."
Wait, Android 13. I think on movie 13. No,
sorry. Android 13, yeah.
And movie 13 was terrible. It's like, I can play the ocarina.
To break the fourth wall a little bit, folks, if we seem to be like interrupting each other, we are recording our separate audio, but we are using Discord, and there's like a slight delay. So the first word of like when when Brandon says something gets cut off. So I'm just kind of like trying not to interrupt him, and he's trying not to interrupt me. So
so we're recording on our own end, so hopefully it'll sound better at the end.
Yeah, the finished thing will sound better. But so with Dragon Ball Z, like YTV after school was really where a lot of stuff I saw. That's when I started seeing like, you know, the gimmick shows like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Beyblade. I was huge into Beyblade. Like my grade, I think it was grade 7 or 8 year. Like my both my folks had like late night jobs, like they worked really super late. So every night was like pizza that we cooked in the oven and Beyblade.
When I worked in my online toy job, a lot of my job was friggin' selling loose Beyblade pieces.
Oh man, I wish I had known. I would have been like, just give them all to me. I would have bought all of them. It would have been your number.
It is amazing how expensive some of these damn things would get. Like there was metal tips that'd be like $20. I'd be like, are you kidding, for a tip?
It's funny because like Beyblade has had a huge resurgence in the last little bit. So it's still relevant now. I actually just like I went to EB Games and they're like super liquidating their Wii games because it's like 2 generations old now. But I picked up one of the Beyblade games because it was $1. So I was like, well, I like the other 2 Beyblade games that I own. Like, this will probably get a laugh as a multiplayer game or something. So what's $1 for that, right? So
yeah,
that was of all the game, like of all the like collectible shows, I call them collectibles, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, that and Metabots. I was huge into Metabots. I actually own Metabots.
The one that I got the most into was Cardfight Vanguard.
Cardfight Vanguard, I know that you got into it. It was kind of past my time at that point. Like I wasn't into getting into a new show, so I kind of passed it up. I do want to get into it at some point.
What happened was Yu-Gi-Oh! I really got into Yu-Gi-Oh! When it first came out, but then it got way too batshit insane. Like, at first it was like, attack, defense, magic, trap, yay! Then it was like, fusion, synchro, combiner, like origami cards. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, and this will kind of lead into the topic later, but like Yu-Gi-Oh! Every series they had a gimmick. So the first series was just, it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, there was nothing you had to do for that. So they call the first series gimmick Fusion. And the second series was Fusion. The first series was Vanilla. GX was Fusion. The third series, 5Ds, was all about synchros and motorcycles. And then Zeal, which I actually watched a good chunk of, was all about exceeds and overlays. And now the new series, Arc 5, which... quite an original name there, just call it Arc 5, is all about pendulum monsters. And it's weird because I haven't watched it, but I've heard that like the main character is actually evil and he's bringing back characters from other series.
Well, you know, see, the problem is though, the problem was like back to my original thing about it, was that Yu-Gi-Oh! Got so ridiculous that I said, ooh, Vanguard's just starting up, so that way I can pick it up from the beginning. So I did, but then, surprise, surprise, they started to get batshit insane, and I was like, can't we just have a normal, just straight up, like, ooh, look, attack, defend, done, not like a, oh, well, I'm gonna use this 36 card combo that takes half an hour to do.
See, even Beyblade got that bad, because, like, the first 2 seasons were basically just about, like the tournaments and whatnot. The third season, or G Revolution, whatever, they split the main team up. So our these characters that we've known for a few years, they split the main team up and they gave them all these like metal Beyblades, and like that's when the whole metal thing started. And then it kind of died off because I think G Revolution, like kids were just fatigued that they didn't want to see any more Beyblade. Also, they had Sugar, who was on YTV, voice one of the characters, and her voice is kind of annoying. So,
and probably all the carpal tunnel from pulling those Beyblades.
So like fuck, and but like Beyblade was huge, like every year in Anime North, and they still do it. They still have a competition. So it's crazy. And then it died off.
I could never do competitions because there's people who are just goddamn insane. Like it isn't like, oh, let's have fun and do a competition. It's like, no, I've spent the whole last year preparing for this. So like, whoa, calm down, buddy.
Yeah, but like I had and a lot of those collectible things I had stuff like, and I didn't even mention Digimon. That's just another one. Now that also leads me into Fox Kids or Foxbox or whatever the hell it became after that. They had anime on Saturdays.
Foxbox was a little after my time because then they started getting into Sonic X and like
that.
And yeah,
see, like that was my teenage years, and like that was when I was still kind of niche in anime because like I didn't have many friends who were into anime, but I still watched it because at that time that and Bionics, which was on YTV, was the only place I could watch anime because it like. Anime online like was still foreign to me. Like I hadn't gone on.
Anime online was really hard to do because you actually had. I remember even to watch Oh My Goddess, I had to use. I think it was like what was it? It was like Napster. I had to use or something ridiculous, like some kind of really old like torrent thing, just to watch the first 5 episodes of Oh My Goddess because there was like no YouTube to watch it on. So it was like
exactly.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna download this thing off this weird torrent website.
Yeah, when I started. So Bionics was kind of like our Adult Swim, like, but it was mostly anime. So that's how I started watching Naruto and like stuff like Death Note and Bleach and like all those big shows were on there. Witch Hunter Robin, which was fantastic.
Fuck that show. What?
Witch Hunter Robin?
Yeah, fuck that show. That show is so boring. Oh my god, I call it the insomnia.
It's funny because
the Cure for Insomnia show.
It was on before Death Note, and I thought Death Note was fucking shit. So
yay! Someone else agrees with me. That show is terrible. And now you'll see your subscribe account like now die.
Well, I mean, it's like Death Note was so huge, and I didn't see the point of it. And I'm like,
I didn't see.
Okay, you're trying to be realistic, but you're not trying to be realistic. Like, make up your fucking mind. Like,
I do not see the reasoning for that. I don't see the love of that show. I can't.
The only good part of that show was L, and when he died, a lot of good things died with it. So I just like I didn't pay attention to that.
I went to a convention to watch the first couple episodes, and I remember sitting there going, "It's old men sitting at a table. Nothing's happening."
Yeah, exactly. But like, but Bionics was like the Friday night late stuff. Like, just shows like the big ones like. And then Inuyasha was a huge one that I followed for a while.
Inuyasha
and then,
was
Saturday
fun
mornings
it kept being nothing.
It was weird. I can't believe I still got up that early back then because Friday nights I would watch anime and then Saturday mornings I would watch anime. You'd have stuff like Ultimate Muscle and like Sonic X and fucking one of my favorite animes of all time, Shaman King, was playing around then, and that was.
I guess I couldn't get into that main character because the girl pissed me off. I hated the girl. I hated her.
Well, Anna was a bitch. Well, and here's where I started to realize certain things, like with voice acting and how anime is produced. Like when they were advertising Shaman King, they were like the creators of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm like, the guy who does the Yu-Gi-Oh manga does this, and I'm like, no. I found out later, no, they were talking about the producers and like the director of like the voice cast and stuff like that. So like, it got me into watching the show. Like they had advertised it correctly. Another show, and I know I will never live this down by saying this. I think I got into One Piece through the 4Kids dub, and you know what? People can say what they want about the writing and everything. It has the most solid cast of One Piece that there's ever been. Like Funimation's cast, all I hear is Dragon Ball Z every time I watch it. It's hard for me to watch the Funimation cast, and the Japanese. Some of the characters are annoying. Like their voices are crazy annoying. It's why I can't watch Dragon Ball Super because the fucking.
You know what? I hate to be the
75-year-old lady voices all the main Son family guys.
I mean, people are going to hate me for this, but fuck it. I loved the voices for 4Kids One Piece.
Exactly, dude.
I think, dude, Mark DeRison Guts as Zoro was fan-fucking-tastic.
Dude,
are you kidding me? Mark was Zolo. He was.
It's one of the reasons why I own every single One Piece 4Kids release on DVD.
You know the sad thing?
Everything they released on DVD.
You know the sad thing?
But
so do I.
The thing that got me into actually actively looking up anime is there was one anime I watched on Bionics that they actually canceled, which was Mare, or Mare-chan Awakens Romance. I was like, when they canceled it, I was like, I like this show. I want to see more of it. And I'm just like, well, how do I find this? So I just started looking it up, and I realized that the series was still ongoing in Japan, but I realized that a whole bunch of the series had been subbed, like past where the dub had gone. And I was like, oh, this is how you can get the Japanese episode. Because I knew that anime was from Japan. I figured it out. Mm-hmm. Like, You figure that shit out. And then after that, I realized, oh, there's new Naruto episodes I can download. Except Databayo was like the worst fan sub group because they were dicks. And they would ban you for anything.
I will never understand why every single language that dubs Naruto feels Naruto has to be voiced by an old lady. I'll never understand that. I'll never figure that out.
One thing I am happy about though is that every dub of Naruto realizes that Rocks is a terrible opening theme and they use their own.
Oh, fucking Rocks. Yeah, he rocks. Why do you think we made fun of that in my first episode?
I know. Wow, that really sucked.
No, I still say the best opening ever is still Closer. I love Closer.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, my favorite has been like, my new favorite is Shippuden opening 17. I can't remember the name of it.
17? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Naruto had that many openings.
Is that before or after Pain?
Yeah, it's a stretch.
Pain,
but,
my life. If I ever do Pain, he'll sound like this.
I just remembered like once I
nobody understands me.
Once I discovered Naruto, like that's when like through like I don't mean the actual anime on TV. Like I was watching it on TV, but once I discovered that you could download fan subs, that's really when it opened up for me, and I started looking for stuff like when I was 17 and I had my wisdom teeth removed, I was off school for like a week. I watched Chobits in that entire week because I was
the series where the first disc is great and the rest sucks.
Yeah, it trails off pretty quickly, but like it's like I remember like I was just like I don't know if it was because I was still hopped up on like the drugs or whatever, but I was like, this anime looks cool. I'm just gonna sit here and watch this, and that's what I did for a week. I watched Chobits. And like that's when I started actively searching for anime. And it's so hard to nail down what I went on from there. Like I remember like Bleach, I think the dub was on hold or something, and I was like tired of seeing the same episodes over and over again. So I just decided there's like over 100 episodes of Bleach subbed, and I'm just gonna download all of these and watch all these subbed.
I tried Bleach. I tried so hard to like Bleach, and I couldn't. It's so boring. Nothing happens.
After the Bount arc, which is my favorite arc, considering it was like a filler arc. After the Bount arc, it pretty much like gets terrible because
No, here's the thing. It's the same 10 characters. Nobody ever dies. They get horribly injured in heaven, which makes absolutely no sense. The premise of the series is we're all in the afterlife and we could possibly die. How can you die? You're already dead.
See, the problem with Bleach is that Tite Kubo didn't really know how he wanted the story to go, and because it was so popular in its early days, like he kept being pressured to like do things that he didn't want to do. So he did them, and then he had no idea how his story was going to go. And that's why eventually the anime got canceled, because they were like, fuck this, we don't know where your story's going. And then once the anime died off, everyone lost interest in the manga. And the manga died a year after that. So he was effectively, he had like 2 weeks. He's like, you need to end this because we're canceling it, essentially. But I mean, that's not really as bad.
I remember how so many people got pissed off because they made Ichihime canon, and so many people got mad.
Why?
So many people got mad.
It's like people got mad about Naruhina. I'm like, did you not see this coming the entire series?
No, because it actually, for several reasons, I'm not going to get into why I know this, because even though I hated Bleach, it was pretty much, everyone assumed it'd be Rukia Ichigo. Everyone thought it'd be Rukia Ichigo. Because he kept leaving hints here and there, all over the place. And then I kind of liked Ichihime. I don't know, that was me. But when it happened, the internet exploded. People fucking hated that to death.
Yeah. I think I think with Tite Kubo it was a bunch of poor decisions, and like everybody talks about how like the Espada arc was the arc to watch, but it was so fucking boring. Like I just the fight scenes weren't fun.
Bleach feels like nothing. Bleach is like a barren wasteland of nothing.
Exactly, because that's usually where they're fighting. So, where I wanted to go with this is once I got on the internet, that's when it kind of exploded, and I've found my favorite anime of all time, which is Gurren Lagann, and and whatnot. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to talk about, because anime in the 80s and 90s, if you watched it in North America, you had to get like a bootleg sub tape or like an OVA that a company decided to dub.
Or you had to buy your anime from Central Park Media.
And because nobody wanted to dub full series because they didn't know what to do, except for like odd choices like Evangelion and like other things like that. So, but now we're at a point with anime that there's so much of it, it's hard to predict what's going to get released and what's not. And that's why we have stuff like Crunchyroll and Funimation on Demand and shit like that. But like, one thing that is troubling me, and I've seen a couple of other anime reviewers or critics or whatever on YouTube, because that's become a big community recently, talk about this. Are we getting too much too fast? Because it feels like every season we're getting like way too many shows and there's no way to watch all of them.
The problem is what I've found out. The problem is we're getting a lot of the same generic stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest problem. It isn't like we're getting brand new ideas with new characters and new setups. It's all like the same crap, but it's a little different. So it'll be like one season you'll have like the chosen guy who lives in a school filled with girls and they fight aliens. Next season, the chosen guy in a school of girls and they fight monsters. It's like the same exact thing, just slightly different.
And like, I'll admit, like every so often I'll pick one of those junk food animes and just watch one of them, just because like I want something dumb to watch. But it's like every so often, like every couple of years, we get something like that's really like an outbreak hit. Like when Gurren Lagann first came out, like that was huge with the internet because it wasn't the same old shit that everybody was used to.
Yeah,
getting.
like I'm gonna not mention Gurren Lagann. I'll mention something else because I don't want to offend you.
No,
like. What it is like, the problem is we're getting inundated with so much generic crap that even when something is different, even if it's not that good, if it's different, people will go, wow, it's different, it must be good, because it's not the same damn thing. A good example for me, people are going to crucify me for this, I think one of the stupidest premises on the planet, I think it is a horrible idea and makes no sense, is Attack on Titan. People love this show to death, and I'm like, there's giant people eating giants that walk around and just do nothing but eat people? That sounds fucking bitch slap. And then people are like, it's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, no, because this stupid idea is so different that it must people like it. Okay. It's like I get so mad at these people who are like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, it's a weird show about giants that are.
So one thing that's on the, like, I've seen one episode of Attack on Titan, and I thought it was interesting. So maybe I'll eventually watch more, especially since season 2 is coming out.
I watched the entire first season, and I'm like, this is the stupidest premise ever. I don't understand why people like it. The thing is, then I saw Attack on Titan Junior High. I love that show. That show is amazing. That show is the funniest because it pokes fun at the first show. But the thing is, that's what that premise should be. It should be a background comedy. It should be a comedy. I don't know how they take it so seriously. I'm like, this is not a serious premise.
All right. Let me just stop for a second here before...
I can't get over it.
You need to back the rant back a bit. But so a familiar concept that you're talking about where everybody's like, oh, this is so good. I had the other... you need to watch this thing, and I know a lot of people use that, but this happened for me with Kill La Kill. Like, I like Kill La Kill. It's a fun show. It did something different again. It was one of those shows that decided to do something different. But everybody wanted me to watch it because I liked Gurren Lagann so much. Gurren Lagann's my favorite anime of all time. They're like, you are going to love Kill La Kill. And I'm like, eventually I had to stop telling people to tell me that because I'm like, now you're setting my expectations. Just let me watch the show. If I like it, which I do like it, then I'll like it. And that's where I learned you just gotta drown people out. You just gotta, like, if people are like, this is the greatest show of all time, that's where I'm like, okay, I'll make my own judgments of that when it's time.
Yeah, because also, like, you'll go to cons and it'll be like everywhere. You know, you'll be like, man, I sure hope they have like a stuff from this new show I like, but nope, like 3/4 of the dealer's room in the artist alley are all at like Attack on Titan. You're like, and Kill La Kill, and you're like, can you like have other stuff? Something of the show I like? No? Okay.
Whenever anything explodes that year at anime cons, like it gets overblown. Like look at Undertale. Like, the year it came out, like, it exploded with, like,
I
fan
was in
stuff.
Japan, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I mean, like, it exploded with, like, fan stuff. Wasn't into the game at that point, so I didn't really understand it. But, like,
you know what though, I will say this: people who aren't watching who haven't watched the Undertale playthrough so far or whatever, I will say that game is really good. I hate on a lot of stuff people like, but Undertale, I couldn't fight it. It is really good.
It's a fantastic game. Like, it's I'm only like a quarter or a third through it, because what I played on my Let's Play is basically where I'm at. But it's a really good game, so I see why people enjoy it.
I'm not trying to be a hipster. I'm totally not trying to be a hipster saying, oh well, it's famous, so it's not good. But I'm like, there are just some that are just like, oh my god, I can't even.
And there's always a flavor of the year. That's what I find at an anime con. You're gonna find stuff that's more
to me.
Back
to the point, though, that's like what happens. Though it's like you get this show that's slightly different than everything else, and therefore it's the flavor of the year.
Exactly, and I think because there's so much stuff, like the most popular stuff gets focus on merchandise and stuff like that. Whereas even if there's like a really good show, if no one's talking about it, then it's not getting anything. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah, because what'll happen is you'll have a happy lesson, you'll have a sister princess, but then you'll have a school days. Like, oh, he dies at the end. Wow, we know about the show because it's different. So anytime there's something different, even if the show isn't good, it'll gain notoriety, whether good or bad. It's still, what do they say? They say no publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah.
So I bet you a lot of people bought School Days because it has that horrible ending.
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing is, I don't know what the name of the anime is, but from last year, I think it's called ReZero or something. That one character, has a confession, and it became like the biggest deal because it was a much loved character, a Rem or something like that. I don't know. The blue-haired maid girl chick from this show. I never watched it, but
like I said, I was very much not watching stuff because I was in Japan, so I wasn't really paying attention to.
Exactly. But like, it was one of those things, like, that show blew up because of that. Like, sometimes it'll just be a moment in a show that makes a series blow up. Like, that's what happened with, like, that's partially what happened with Gurren Lagann. Like, it was a popular show, but spoiler alert, when Kamina died, that show exploded. 7, it's not a spoiler alert. That show exploded. Well, I mean, the show's, it's 10 years old now, but...
Well, I'm saying it's episode 7, it's not even like a spoiler, it's not like the ending.
It's from 2007, man, it's 10 years old.
I know, but I meant like what episode it was.
It was episode, 7 or 9.
Yeah, whatever, that's not far enough to be a spoiler. Yeah, spoiler is like episode 20.
But yeah, like, it's, even sometimes moments from shows will do that, but the problem is like, again, there's just so much of the same, like, being produced over and over
the problem is they never do a twist. Like, one of the biggest problems is they have been shoving so many harem shows down our throats. It is kind of ridiculous. But the problem is they never twist it. Like, what they'll do is they'll introduce a girl in the first episode and they'll end up with her. Every time, without fail. First girl end up every single time. And the girl that's the main character on the theme song will be the first one he meets. He'll end up with her. They never twist it ever. So every time people are skipping over these shows because you're like, well, he's gonna end up with her because she's in the theme song. And it's
the other thing too is because there's so much stuff, like, shows that really deserve viewing get kind of screwed. Like, some people might disagree with me with this, but Medaka Box from Gainax, they canceled that show right when it was getting to the good part of the manga, and it deserves another season. Like, the entire second season was to build up for the third season, and it's never going to happen because people were watching crap instead of watching that, so it got shit views. Another show that really needs to come back, it had one arc left, and it just never kicked off. It was a Shonen Jump series, Katsukiya Hitman Reborn. One of my favorite Shonen Jump series of all time. Its last arc was shit. So the last one they animated, so it got canceled before the final arc that's in the manga, and it got canceled because Bakugan wanted its time slot on the Japanese television or TV channels. Bakugan.
Yeah, that series that was trying to be Beyblade.
Yeah, and it lasted like 4-6 seasons, something like that. It took the time slot for Reborn. It wanted that time slot because that was a popular time slot.
Bakugan was hot in America for like a year.
Oh, for like a few years, dude. My cousin was huge into it. Now he doesn't even mention it. But I remember there were, for a few years he was huge into Bakugan. Like that was one thing. Like, and it was like, really, of all the shows to get to want to get mine, the one that I like canceled, it's fucking Bakugan. Like,
but the sad thing is all the like the ones that are really popular are never like the 13 episoders because like they're really short and like they don't get enough time to get traction. Like and they're usually like the more quiet ones that no one ever talks about too. No one ever talks about the quiet ones or the short ones. Like a good example was Canon. No one talked about Canon, and that show was probably my favorite romance show ever.
Yeah. Canon is talked about more now, but it wasn't popular at the time of its release, which is
another one that no one talks about. It's amazing. Is Hai Bunny Renmei. Nobody talks about it at all. Period.
I don't even know what that is. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a really cute show about these girls that live in this house because they're angels, but like they're like they have to live in a different way, and it's very downplayed and very like quiet and like slice of life, but like with angel wings. It's weird. It's very good. It's amazing, but it's very downplayed, and like no one talks about it. And
I mean, like I said, there like sometimes I'll watch those like junk food slice of life shows. Like one that I was really into was Sakuroso no Pet no Kanajo. It was one of the popular animes of that timeline, but it was kind of a depressing show, so it was hard for me to watch through. But I kind of wanted more of it when I was done, but it was one of those flavor of the season things where it was done and then it was gone.
The time that had the best, I think the time area that had the best slice of life shows was when ADV was around. Because they had really good ones. Like Happy Lesson was really fun. They had Sister Princess. They had Princess Tutu. Like well, that's not really slice of life, but whatever. But like they had Kaleidostar. So like stuff like that. There was just enough, and they were just different enough to be good. Now they're all so generic. It's all guy goes to magical school and falls in love with bitchy girl. That's like every single show ever.
And then like there was like one show that was really popular that I liked, and it kind of put the whole siscon thing on its side because I don't really watch those shows, was Orimo. And this is another topic I want to get into, another side part of this topic I want to get into. There's so many shows that had those 13 or 25 episode or 26 episode seasons, and then the second season is always shit. Orimo was ruined for me because the second season was terrible. The first season was perfect. The second season fucking killed it.
I've never really had that issue too much with me, but I've heard of it. Like I heard that was a big deal with Sword Art.
Yeah, I mean I hate Sword Art Online with a burning passion, so I probably won't ever watch it. But
no, but I didn't watch. I saw a couple episodes, but I heard that was the big deal with it. I heard that was the big thing where the second season was terrible.
Yeah, it was just like. There's a lot of series that do that. They'll have like a really... so when they get a series that's really popular of the sea of crap, they'll make a second season and then they'll just kill the show with that second season. I think the problem with, just going back to another example I had, was Medaka Boxes. It had a really slow first season. Like it was meant to be like an action anime, and they didn't do any action until like the 9th episode. So... The second season was all action, so the people who were there before, wanted the stuff before the action, didn't want to watch it anymore, and only the people who wanted the action stuff were there, and I think that's what killed that. But that's the opposite effect. Most shows, they have a really great first season, and then the second season just kills it. Like, oh my god. The best example I can think of, season 2 ruining a show for me, is Haruhi. They made the stupid decision to make Endless 8 actually 8 episodes.
Oh, you mean Haruhi?
I don't know why they did that.
Oh, Haruhi was another one of those shows that, God help me, I tried, and I could not even remotely get... You know why? Because I hated Ko. He was the most boring, stupid... He was like, I'm Ko. This is me angry. This is me happy. I'm like, I can't... You are not like the substitute for a person like watching. You're a substitute for a coma victim.
Wait. Who are you talking about?
Cone. What is his name? Cone?
Are you talking about the main character?
The main dude, yeah. Kyon. Sorry, Kyon. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot the Y. Yeah. No. I hated him so much. He was so boring. I wanted to throw him out of a window.
And see, I really liked Haruhi's first season, and I have it on DVD, but when I watched the second season, I'm just like, they have ruined a good thing, and that's my problem. Like, these shows, like, get so popular, and they put some of these anime series on the map. Like that, Clannad and Haruhi put Kyoto Animation on the map. And that's when they started getting, like, now they just do crap all the time. Like, as much as I love K-On!, it's pretty much garbage. And it's, again, another example of season 2 making the show terrible. So,
yeah, and like,
it's just
there are shows like that where it isn't even really like a good premise, and just like it picks up I was in Japan, and you couldn't walk 2 feet in Akihabara without seeing goddamn the school idol thing. You know, what was the show called?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That super crazy popular idol.
Yeah, the idol one, not Idolmaster, the other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't Idolmaster. It was the other one, School Idol Project, I think it was called.
Yeah,
I saw the entire first series. It's not that good. It's just like a bunch of girls singing. And I'm like, why is this so popular? I don't understand. Every episode they're like, oh no, the school's gonna go away unless we raise awareness. We need to be a singing group. Yay! That's the entire series. And I'm like, why is this is like a Monster High video Hasbro would release. Why is this so popular?
There is like a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for some of this, though. There are some series that were good at their time and stood the test of time and continue to be good. One that I haven't seen, but I've really wanted to see, but I haven't started because I'm getting mixed signals on where to start, is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I know it's just junk food action
that one,
anime, but it's good.
I'm the same way. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that show. I wouldn't where do you pick it up? Is there an episode 1?
Each season has like a different name. Like there's one that's like called Stardust Dreams or something like that. I'm sorry, all the people who like JoJo who are listening to this are going to be like, no, that's not what it's called. But like, it's one of those ones where I'm just going to have to sit down and look at a Wikipedia article to figure out where to start.
Exactly. Chronological or where am I starting? I don't even know where to begin.
And that's also a problem with Haruhi. Like all the episodes were shown out of order and on purpose. So, like, if you try to watch it now and you want to watch it in chronological order, you have no fucking idea unless you pull up an article. Some shows do that, but luckily that doesn't happen too much anymore. There are shows that, they have a good season and they just continue to be on being good.
Doesn't happen.
Shows like that are breakout hits and just, they only have one series. They don't need anything more. They just stick with that and leave it off at that. And then the studio moves on to the next thing.
The
problem, though.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say there was a trope that they did back in the 90s. Thank God they don't do anymore because it was the stupidest thing in the world. They would put episode 1 as a completely unrelated later in the series action episode, and then episode 2 would start the series. And that was so painful.
That happened a lot.
They did that with Berserk. They did that with Record of Lodoss War. And it made no sense. You're like, who are these people? Why are they fighting? What's going on?
I could see the reason why they did that. I think they did that to get people interested so that because I guess the thought process back then was nobody wants to hear the start of the story at the start, which would actually make sense to show the story at the start.
But thank God no one does that anymore. But back in the 90s they did that, and that was so painful when they did that.
But it's just like, sometimes I'm worried about what's going to happen to anime because we're at a point where there's just so much of it that it was not like back in the day where you would maybe get 5 shows max, a season. And then those were the shows you would watch. Now everyone's making a show. So it's like, what are my choices? Do I take something that I know I'm going to like Dragon Ball Super and just watch that? Or do I take a chance on one of the 12 billion shows that came out this season? And I just don't have time anymore to watch all those animes. I'm still trying to finish friggin' Railgun. I'm still in the middle of Railgun.
A couple years ago, I was reviewing animes on a site, and the new shows that were coming out. I took it upon myself to review 10 shows that were coming out that season on that at once. I was watching 10 shows at once.
Right.
About 8 were terrible.
Oh, okay.
There was it was like this wave of just garbage, and I think there was only like 2 decent ones. One I hate with a fiery passion. It is now my top 5 worst shows ever. It is called Vanidus, and that show needs to die.
Vanidus.
Maho no Vanidus. I think it's something like that. And it is the most Gary Stew, awful garbage series I've ever seen. That is a problem right now with anime too. Is the Gary Stew. Is the I'm the chosen one. I get stronger every time. All the girls love me. My only flaw is I have a bad backstory. It's like every time. And this guy, he was the most frustratingly Gary Stew character. Like, it's episode 2, and he catches an arrow in his hand that's being fired at him, and he's not even looking at it. I'm like, what? What? How? What? And look at Vanidus. It is the most...
I haven't even fucking heard of this show.
I hate it. Vanidus is just... It is the epitome of everything that's wrong right now with anime.
Is the main character, like, a red-haired guy?
Yes. Fuck him.
That's the one?
Fuck him. Yes. Fuck him up his ass. I hate him so much. So much.
Like, oh man, it's just...
His shtick is he shoots arrows. That's a shtick.
Like, I recently got Crunchyroll, so I'm trying to watch anime here and there, but like, it's now harder than ever to decide what to watch.
It is. It really is.
Unless... I now have to rely on word of mouth. Like,
you know what I'm doing? Actually, what I'm doing is I'm going back to the mid 2000s and going back to the shows I never finished. That's what I'm doing.
I'm going to do that eventually. But what I'm actually doing right now, actually for anime, is I'm trying to catch up. Like, I finished Dragon Ball GT. I'd never seen GT.
I'm sorry.
I finished it, and you know what? It wasn't as bad as everyone said it was. Was it kind of boring at some points? Oh, of course it was.
I got up to the baby arc and I was like, I'm done.
The baby arc was good, but it went way too long. The fight should have been like half the time.
Honestly, you know the reason why I stopped watching Dragon Ball Z, and you think it's a stupid reason, but I don't care.
But like once I got to the Dragons arc, the last arc, I was like, I'm just watching this out of habit now.
Why don't I watch any Dragon Ball now? Zero.
I don't know.
You don't know why? It's a stupid reason.
I don't know.
It's a stupid reason.
You don't like?
But you know what? I'm not watching Super. I won't watch anything past DBZ actually at all anymore. And the reason why? Because there's no Raditz.
You cut out right when you said what the reason was.
Because there's no Raditz. I refuse to watch anything.
Jocko. There's Jocko.
I refuse to watch anything until Raditz comes back.
Wait, did you even watch Battle of the Gods or
no?
Hello?
No, I didn't watch Battle of the Gods.
You cut out for me. What?
No, I did not watch Battle of the Gods.
Okay, at least watch Battle of the Gods.
No.
Come on. Don't be a stickler.
I am a stickler. There's no Raditz.
So, you know what's funny? They brought back Nappa in GT, but they didn't fucking bring back
Raditz. I know. Why do you think I'm not watching it? I am done.
Oh, no, actually,
until they bring
Raditz is in GT, actually. Raditz is in GT. He fights Piccolo.
Raditz is in a corner like screen cap for an 18th of a second. That doesn't count.
He fights Piccolo off screen.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Yeah, I'm waiting. Like, I will come back to Dragon Ball when Raditz comes back. Until then, I'm not.
You know what? I mean, there's theories that if somebody drops out of the tournament, like they might wish him back and try to make him a Super Saiyan. So I don't know.
I'm telling you, if he comes back, I will in full earnest watch all Dragon Ball, the rest of the Dragon Ball. I'll even watch Battle of the Gods if he comes back. If he doesn't come back, I'm not touching it.
Honestly, Raditz's big reveal as Goku's brother was like this huge thing, and then he's like gone and never like mentioned ever again.
Why do you think I was one of the reasons I'm so pissed?
He's Goku's brother. He's Gohan's uncle.
Yet Bardock, the guy who died in the flashback, gets his own 2 movies.
They could wish him back just for like a family reunion, and nobody would have to worry about it because even the kids are stronger than him.
Yeah, Chi-Chi's probably stronger than him.
It's like everyone can kick his ass, so what do they have to worry about? Maybe just Chaozu
could beat the shit out of him.
Goku would just use King Kai to call him and be like, "Hey Raditz, I know it's been a long time, and I kind of was the reason that you got killed, but hey, I want you to meet the family. How about you come over for burgers or something? We're gonna have barbecue." Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember that reference. I know that
early
reference.
Ego Raptor.
I know that reference.
That was Ego Raptor's first flash.
Oh my god, that's like Newgrounds reference.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, yeah, just Goku just decided they're gonna have a barbecue, and Raditz is invited so he can meet the fam, because he's got like nephews he's never met, and then like grandnephews he's never met.
You know what? People who are listening to this are gonna say that I am being so petty, but you know what? He is just the only character that I actually. First of all, to this day, he is my favorite anime character. It hasn't changed. Since 1997, it hasn't changed. 20 years, I've had the same favorite anime character.
I don't really know who my favorite is. That'd be hard to pick. But
my second favorite is Taishi from Comic Party.
The whole reason I like brought it up is because I finally finished GT, and then I realized like I watched Dragon Ball, but I watched it as a kid at like 5 a.m. on Saturdays, and I had to keep the TV really quiet, so nobody else would wake up. So I've seen Dragon Ball, but I haven't actually seen Dragon Ball. So I finally have all on DVD. I finally have it all on DVD, so I'm gonna like rewatch Dragon Ball because I want to see where stuff is. Like, of course, I've seen fight scenes and stuff on YouTube, but like I want to sit down and actually experience it, because all I remember is the theme song from when it was released back then. Dragon Ball, the ultimate journey, a boy and a girl in a struggle for truth. Dragon Ball. That's all I remember.
That was beautiful.
That's all I remember. The fucking theme song from the
that wasn't in America, as far as I know,
which is Ocean. So it's like I want to give it a chance and see how it goes. Like I'm not. The hardest part of GT for me was the Black Star Dragon Ball saga, because I was like, Dragon Ball Z was popular because of its action. And the Black Star Dragon Ball arc was all about looking for the Dragon Balls. And the arcs they had in between those, like Lord Lude and like fucking until they got to Baby, were all kind of like, eh. So that's why I kind of want to like, that's why I feel like part of me isn't going to like Dragon Ball, but another part of me like is going to find it a fun adventure. So like going back to old stuff, that's the thing. Like I've even thought about rewatching Martian Successor Nadesco again, because it's a really great anime. I know it's Masako's favorite anime of all time.
I actually haven't seen that.
I like it, but I don't like it that much.
I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen Martian Successor? Dude, it's a really good show.
It's
not my favorite anime of all time, but I can see why Masako says it's his favorite.
There is a 90s show.
It's really good.
There's a 90s show I'm meaning to see for literally 15, 20 years. It's called Nadia and the Secret of Blue Water. I've been meaning to see that forever.
Oh, right.
I need to see that. I've been wanting to see that for decades. I keep hearing.
I haven't seen
it's
that
one of those
either.
like classics that you should see, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, I need to watch that as well. But seriously, okay, Nadesco is like one you have to see. It's totally you. You would like it's a parody on like mecha animes, but it also gets serious near the end. But like the trope, like if you've seen any mecha anime, you'll notice the tropes, and like you'll probably fucking love it. It's I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. If you get a chance, just watch Nadesco.
I will. If you want to watch a funny parody one, you watch Galaxy Angel. That is funny.
Yeah, I need to see that too.
Fucking hilarious.
There's so many shows like Maharomatic and stuff like that I haven't seen. Like,
but you know what? Once again, that was mid 2000s, and mid 2000s had a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, like early and mid 2000s had good stuff, and
they had Fruits Basket, Galaxy Angel, Comic Party, Happy Lesson, Excel Saga.
Dude, you and I should just watch some early 2000s anime together sometime soon.
Oh, I would love that.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
You know what though? It was funny because early 2000s when they started turning over to the CG drawings as opposed to the hand drawn. And you could tell early 2000s have like that weird shiny animation. Like you can tell it's early 2000s. It looks different. Like you're like, hey, that's early 2000s.
Yeah, you can tell. Like it's like they were still drawing it, but they were drawing it digitally. Like they just started like digitally. Like they would like draw the story, like sketch them out, and then they would be like scanned, and then they would have to be like line arted. And you can tell like they were just like using effects.
Up until like 2006, there's like this 6-7 year period. You're like, yeah, this is all early 2000s.
Oh, dude! Like I've been replaying the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games, and the animated intro for Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, it totally has that early like 2000s anime look. Because like it's like weird. It's like a mix between what we have now and the early like 2000s stuff. Because Toei was just trying to figure out how to do that style of animation. It's like if you watch like 5-year-old or 5 or 7-year-old episodes of One Piece. It's like they went from hand drawn and then they went over to like CG. It's crazy.
Oh my! You know what? Speaking of converting, I completely gave up on Pokemon. The moment I saw an episode in that new style, I'm like, I'm done. I can't. It's so different. I'm done. It's that animation style changed so disgustingly radically. I'm like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah. The new the Alolan Pokemon show. Oh my god.
I look at that animation. I saw an episode. I'm like, what happened? What happened?
Oh, it's terrible. I don't know why they changed. Like, I mean, I stopped watching Pokemon after Johto, the Johto series.
Yeah, I kind of stopped the Johto, but I came in every now and then.
Every so often I'd see an episode. Like the Black and White anime looked really good, and the XYZ anime looked really good too. But like, I don't know what animation company they hired for the new season, but oh my god, yeah, it is.
What happened?
It's terrible. The Alolan Pokemon anime looks awful.
It does. God. I don't know who okayed that, but it looks just terrible.
Well, I mean, another problem is like if Raditz does come back and you ever do decide to watch Super, just be prepared for like the first 2 arcs of Super to not look that good, because I think they were rushing it to get it done.
You know what?
Which is odd because the first
if Raditz comes back, I'll watch it in a stick figure.
Well, let me put it this way. The first 2 arcs of Super are just the 2 movies that got Dragon Ball Z movies that came out in the last little bit, like Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F. I actually own Resurrection F on Blu-ray. It's a really good movie, especially if you want to see Frieza again. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because we haven't had enough.
At least
Frieza.
watch that one. At least watch that one.
Because Lord knows Frieza hasn't come back to life enough times.
What? Who hasn't come back to life?
Frieza. He hasn't come back to life enough times. We need to bring him back more.
Who? Oh, Frieza. Yeah.
Because he didn't come back to life. Okay, the first time he comes back to life, Frieza hits him. I mean, Goku hits him with the Spirit Bomb. Didn't die. Then he blows up on Namek, but he didn't die. Then he gets killed by Trunks, but then he shows up in the afterlife with Pikkon. But then after that, he shows up in the afterlife in GT. Then he goes back to life in movie 12.
No, but
then
like,
he comes back to...
But Resurrection F, is it done right? Like that's like it's like a straight up like
Frieza needs to stop. We understand Frieza was a badass in the Namek Saga. He hasn't been a badass since the Namek Saga.
Well, okay.
Great Saiyaman kills him in one punch. Great Saiyaman, the loser.
So okay, let me just. That if you're swearing off Dragon Ball anime until Raditz comes back, at least watch Resurrection F. Just do me that favor. Just at least watch that one.
What part of swearing off confuses you?
Dude, there's a version on YouTube with the Bruce Falconer music. It'd be like you're just watching an episode that you missed.
But I want the ocean dub.
Me too, but I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. So, let me just finish off this discussion by asking one more question. Do you think there's anything that can be done to save anime where it's at right now? Like, obviously anime's in an upswing, and, you know, it's really popular, but there's so much stuff that there's not enough time. Is there anything that you think can do to, like, stop the inevitable, like,
I would say
bubble bursting?
If you're going to release these myriad of series, what you have to do is make people want to watch them because of you're going to change something. So here's an example. Let's say you make an anime based on a manga of a harem show. Yeah. Let's say there's boy and then there's girl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say in the manga he ends up with girl 1. Make an anime where he ends up with girl 3.
And see,
and don't have us see it coming. Change it. Then people will go, holy crap. Like, it changed. It's different than the manga, because a lot of times it'll be so obvious, and I won't watch it because I'll know he'll end up with girl 1. If they pull up, now it's girl 3, I'll be like, whoa.
Or even like, you could even be like so many anime these days are also based on light novels, and light novels seldom get translated because it's nothing but text. So even if you followed a light novel that had a twist like that, unless you're Japanese, there's no way you're gonna know. So
yeah, give it a twist. Give it some kind of twist that isn't in the canonical manga or something.
Yeah.
So if something happened that's cool or different. I
mean, it worked for Gurren Lagann. Like, Coming to Dying just made the show more popular.
Oh, it didn't happen in the manga?
And it didn't have a manga. That's another show that got its manga after the show aired.
Yeah, exactly. You want a twist that changes, and that's one of the biggest problems. And also, stop making so many Gary Stu's chosen ones. Though that is so annoying. Like every other show is chosen one. Stop. Mm-hmm. Not everyone can be a chosen one.
Exactly. Yeah, that is an overused trope for sure. Like the chosen one thing. Yeah. And even a lot of my favorite shows do that.
Just, why can't it be random guy? Why can't it be guy who tripped and fell? Oh, look, there's that year. You're our guy. You know what?
It's funny because it's funny. You say guy. Why can't it be guy that tripped and fell? The main character of Reborn doesn't want anything to do with his abilities, and he's a fucking klutz.
You want to know a good example of, like, even if you want to go with chosen one, but not really a chosen one, that's a good way of doing it. Lego Movie.
I haven't seen the Lego Movie.
You haven't seen the Lego Movie? Really? That's a good movie.
I know. I need to see it, but I haven't. Is it on Netflix? I just got Netflix.
It might be. I don't know. I don't have Netflix right now.
Oh, okay.
I just came back, so I know I didn't know. But there's a couple times when being the chosen one is okay, but not when it's every series. And and you know what? If you're gonna have a harem show, like I said, don't let me know in episode 1 who's gonna pick, because you like. There are some series that need a season 2 that haven't. Where's Penny and Stocking season 2?
Oh my god, that's another show that deserves a season 2 that hasn't gotten one.
Where's
that had a twist ending?
Yeah, and you know what? Where's Monster Musume season 2?
That one I haven't seen.
That one's hilarious. I laughed my ass off. That one's hilarious.
Yeah, but it looks pretty funny, so I'll probably watch it at some point.
It is fantastically hilarious. Like, I laughed every episode. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention is you'll see shows from like one season, and then like a couple seasons later, another animation studio will copy that same idea and just change the characters. That happens a lot.
Yeah. But you know what? They won't make a twist. They won't make a twist on it. They'll keep it the exact same thing.
Exactly, and that's contributing to the problem. So many of these shows just do this. Like, the good thing is there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are a lot of shows that do stand out, and the ones that stand out are the ones definitely that will still continue to stand out, but they'd stand out a lot more if we just had less to choose from. I just think we've got too much to choose from, and that's what makes
a lot of it's very, very generic. Like, the level of generic animes that are out there are mind-boggling. I'll look at it, I'll be like, is this another slice of life girl singing anime? Really?
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I'd say we should leave it at that. Anime is more popular than it's ever been, and that means we get a lot of stuff, but hopefully we'll in the future there'll be less of the same, and we'll start getting new original ideas. Or just something like a take on something we haven't seen in a long time, like the good old Wild West in the early 2000s. That's what we need to go back to.
Yeah, back when back when you had a show about a duck that wanted to dance, or a show about a girl who wanted to come to America to be in a circus,
or a show about a Japanese figure skater who gets haunted by a Canadian pilot ghost who hates tomatoes.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I remember that show.
Like, when everybody was talking about Yuri on Ice, for example, like, that's the first thing I thought of, is that fucking show. I can't remember the name of it, but that fucking figure skating show where the girl is haunted by the ghost of a Canadian.
Yeah. And you know what? Early 2000s was also back when they weren't afraid to push boundaries. Like, there was a show that they actually dubbed. They dubbed it. And I am beyond shocked they dubbed it. That they even licensed it. It was Koi Kaze. So I watched it because I was like, this can't be licensed. How is this licensed? I didn't even know what it was about until I bought it. So it was like a clearance rack for $5 first volume. And it was a show about this like 24-year-old who fell in love with like this 14-year-old girl, and then he found out it was his long-lost sister, but that didn't stop them, and they had to deal with incest for the whole series.
Oh my god!
Whether they should be together or not, despite the fact that he was overage and it's incest, and it was licensed and dubbed. I was like, what?
What? That's like the worst possible sitcom you could think of.
But here's the weirdest thing. Here's the weirdest thing. They made it serious and endearing. That's the weirdest thing. It wasn't comedy. It was serious.
Oh my god.
And it wasn't done badly. And I think it was like J. Michael Tatum was the voice of the main guy. I was like, Mike, you're saying such lines. Such lines. You just read a script that said the line, "I sniffed my sister's bra."
Dude, that's not even that bad. There's this thing that I went to when I was at San Japan last year. It was like some hentai thing. I wasn't allowed to film any of it, but like it's like hentai dubs and the people who are in them. And the last thing they ended with was like, this is a character in this hentai is named Ash, and he's having sex with the character who voices Ash in Pokemon.
Oh, Veronica Taylor.
Ash going, oh, Ash.
Oh, Veronica Taylor.
But anyway, so that's anime.
Veronica. You gotta love Veronica.
That's anime. It's a thing. It's a nerd thing, and it's an important part of my early 20s, late teens, and still kind of an important part today because I still watch anime on and off. But let's move on to questions. Now, I didn't unfortunately make a call out for questions for this because we kind of just did this haphazardly. So I guess what we should do is let's change it up a little bit. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, fine. All right, okay, I'll have a question for you. Okay, so, random question. Tell me right now, favorite voice actor / voice actress.
Oh, that's tough. Oh,
either one.
A lot of
only one. Only one, though. Man or girl. A man or woman.
Voice actor / voice actress? Okay.
Yeah, anyone.
Are you talking just strictly anime, or do you mean games and stuff, too?
You know, anything. Anything.
Sorry,
or anime. That? I don't care. Okay. Any or anime, your choice.
I mean, of all time, it's hard to pick. My current favorite? Justin Roiland.
What does he voice?
He's the voice of Rick and Morty and a bunch of characters in Rick and Morty.
Okay, how about anime?
Even though his gag is always character name, look at me, but like he just does it so well. Like,
all right, give me anime then. Anime, strictly anime.
Oh, okay, strictly anime. Okay.
Or anime game.
You know. If we go strictly anime, oh my gosh, damn it, who do I pick? See, I've mostly been watching like adult cartoons recently, not porn, but like stuff like Archer and Rick and Morty and stuff. So
no, I got you.
I'm more familiar with that stuff, but like, okay, anime. Let's see. Okay, let me actually think about it.
All right, I'll go in the meantime while you think.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, can you guess who my favorite is? Can you take a wild guess?
Is it the guy who voices Raditz?
No, I do love Jason Gray Stanford, but no, actually, he's more of an actor. He was actually a main character in Monk. No, my favorite is a voice actress. All time. If she ever gets wind of this, let her, because I love her. Lisa Ortiz.
Oh, yeah, you've mentioned that before.
I love
Who
Lisa
does she
Ortiz.
voice again?
Let's see. She was Anime Shorter Kuromi. She was Lena Inverse from Slayers. She was She was Serenity, Joey's sister from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, yes. Her voice is very recognizable.
She was Amy from Sonic X. She was Deedlit from
You know
Record
what?
Lotus War.
I don't know if she's my favorite, but one that I can think of is, oh God, what's her name? Just give me a second. She was in a ton of stuff in the early 2000s and the late 90s.
My other favorite has to be Jessica Calvello. I love Jessica Calvello. She was Emmy Yoba from Comic Party. I love Emmy Yoba.
I still need to watch that show.
Yeah.
Oh, her name is Mona Marshall.
Oh, I've heard of Mona Marshall. She's in a lot of stuff. She was in a ton
of stuff that I watched in like the late 90s and the early 2000s. She's not like an incredibly talented voice actress. Like she doesn't have a ton of voice difference.
Oh, she was Kite and Dot Hack.
But like,
yeah, she was Kite and Dot Hack.
I always like whenever she had a character, I always thought she fit the character perfectly. Like
no, she was good.
Whether it's Technobabble as Izzy in Digimon or the way she portrayed Makoto in Love Hina, like I've always found her to be one of the voice actresses that I always enjoy what role she's in. It doesn't matter what. Like Makoto's one of my favorite characters.
No, she was good. I liked her as Kite and Dot Hack.
Yeah, she was Kite as well. So like any role that she's in, I like the role. Like there's barely any roles that Mona Marshall has done that I don't like. I'd say that she's probably one of my favorites then. I don't know if I can put her as the favorite because there's so many like characters and like roles and stuff. But you know what? Fuck it. She is my favorite. Mona Marshall is my favorite voice actress.
Oh, good. And I'll go Lisa Ortiz. Yay, Lisa Ortiz. I have a problem.
It's funny that we both picked women.
What?
It's funny that we both picked women because...
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it. I would say dude. If I had to pick a dude.
Yeah.
And not Raditz.
See, that's so much harder because there's so many.
I would say if I had to pick a dude, it'd probably be Liam O'Brien. I love Liam.
Who does he voice again? I know that name.
He was Taishi from Comic Party. He was Gara.
Oh yeah, right.
He was the bird dude in KO Beast. He was shoot, what else was Liam? Oh, I think he was also... Crap, now I'm having trouble remembering what else Liam was in. I feel terrible now. If Liam ever hears this, he'll be like, how do you not remember all my stuff? Let's see here. Oh, that's right, he was the main guy in DNA Squared. Oh, DNA Squared. He was... So what else is he besides Gara? He was...
God, it's a hard
Oh, he was Archer in Fate Stay Night, okay.
Voice actors that I'm...
That's right, that's the character. He was Lloyd from Code Geass, that's right. And he's the new Nephrite. Oh, I didn't know that. But I loved his Taishi from Comic Party. I loved that. It was so good. My brother and my sister.
Oh, you know what? One of my favorites has to be Stephen Bloom.
Stephen Bloom,
the gate guard.
He is like this. I love the guy. He is just like, you know what he is? Steve Bloom is like the Jim Cummings of anime. He is in like everything. Like no joke. I was watching this old movie. It was called They Were 11. It was this old mid-90s like early movie on VHS from Central Park Media. I'm like, okay, this looks pretty good, interesting. I'll watch it. I'm watching it. Is that Stephen Bloom? God damn it! It's 1995. Stephen Bloom, what are you doing here?
It's funny because I remember a joke from Naruto Bridge where you mentioned the character he was in Battle Athletes.
Oh, Battle Athletes.
He's literally everywhere.
Stephen Bloom is everywhere. He is like that guy. I turned on it was 1994 VHS. I'm like, Steve, what are you doing here?
Oh my god.
Oh, Steve.
Is he okay? Because I feel like there's other actors that sound kind of like him that maybe I think, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else I know him from. Like I know he's Spike Spiegel, but I've only watched like 2 episodes of Cowboy.
He's Roger Smith from Big O.
So I don't know.
You don't know Big O? You don't know Big O?
I don't know what was that? Sorry,
You don't know Big O?
what?
Big O, Big O, Big O, Big O.
Oh, Big O. I haven't seen Big O either. Did he
Orochimaru
voice? No, he
Zabuza?
didn't. I thought he voiced for a second. He voiced Naraku in Inuyasha.
No, wait, no. That is no. Don't tell me. Oh, I know this guy. Oh, he also voiced Anubis in Ronin Warriors. Oh God, what is his name? No, don't tell. I know this guy because I remember my sister had a crush on Anubis from Ronin Warriors. What is his name? Oh God, what is his name? Paul Dobson, I think. It's Paul Dobson.
Yeah, that's who it is. He's in a ton of
Yes,
stuff.
I remember.
I also
it
like
was
Paul
Dobson.
I also like Paul Dobson. He's in a lot of fucking shit.
And actually,
Like,
speaking
a
of
lot
Ronin
of
Warriors, Jason Gray Stanford was also in Ronin Warriors.
God. See, why did we just do the voice acting topic?
What? I don't think we should never get off the
Dr.
topic of Jason.
Riley. God damn it.
Let's we don't ever have to get off the topic of Jason Gray Stanford. It's okay.
Okay.
Jason Gray Stanford.
Do you have any other
the
questions,
best.
or should we move on?
You know what? If I could meet Jason Gray Stanford and Lisa Ortiz, my life would just be complete. I'd be like, well, I'm done.
Well, with that, we're moving on to the last part of the podcast here, which is basically the promotion segment. So, since you are the guest, Brendan, this is now your time to promote anything that you'd like to promote. I know that you have something particular that you've been working on that I don't know if you want to tell people about it, but I know about it.
Well, it's still in the works. I'm still getting it done. There's two things I'm going to be working on, and as of right now, there's a web series I'm going to be in, and then there's a movie which is still in the production stages, but it's in Kickstarter, so that's going to be on Kickstarter soon. But yeah, so those are the two biggies I'm working on right now in terms of stuff. So it's not ready yet for plugging yet.
Okay. Well, maybe by the time this thing comes out, because I'm recording
right.
a few episodes in advance, and then going to edit them and see if people like the podcast. So maybe if it gets you get the green light, I can promote it at that point in like the video description or wherever this.
Okay, you know what I know we should do though. I said we should do before we get going is we should right now recommend 3 anime to people to watch.
You know what? That's a good idea. Should they all be from different genres?
Yeah, let's do different genres. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go first while you're thinking.
So you go first.
Okay. Comedy, you want to watch Comic Party. The original Comic Party, not Revolution. Comic Party with the dub from Right Stuff. That's the one with Liam O'Brien and Lisa Ortiz. Oh yeah, Lisa Ortiz is also in Comic Party. Forgot about that. Yeah, she plays 2 characters in that. Yeah, so that's the recommendation for that. For drama, I recommend Haibani Renmei. It's 13 episodes, very good. It's very slow, but it's a drama show, so it's meant to be. And thirdly, I'm going to go for movie. Movie, Animation Runner Kuromi. 1 or 2. Both are excellent. I recommend both. And they both star Lisa Ortiz. So that's always a bonus.
All right, so for me, for action show, over the top, ridiculous action show, I have to go with Gurren Lagann, my favorite anime of all time. It's like
I had a gasp there.
It's like it's such a staple now. It's kind of hard to recommend it because most people have seen it. Actually, I found a coworker at my job who hadn't seen it, so I lent him my DVD box set and he watched it twice because he liked it so much.
See, that's why I pick more obscure shows, because if I pick you should all watch Naruto.
So, for a comedy, I'd say Martian Successor Nadesco.
Yes, go more obscure.
It's pretty obscure, man.
No, I meant in general. I meant in general, be more obscure.
And what should I do for the last one? For like a it's kind of a comedy too, so it's kind of hard for me to pick. But it's also kind of like a slice of life. It's like fuck it, I'm just gonna recommend it anyways. It's it's kind of like a show that like keeps you on edge because you're wondering like it's kind of like a romance, but it's also a manga or not manga. Sorry, a comedy. I have to talk about fuck, what is the name of it?
I love that show. Fuck, what's
God.
the name of it? That is a fantastic anime.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. God, I have a poster of it behind me. You think I'd fucking remember the name of it?
While they're
God
waiting,
damn it.
While they're waiting, am I the only one who's excited that Lelouch is not dead? Yay, Lelouch isn't dead.
Wait, what?
You know Code Geass?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because they're making a sequel
I
series.
know about Code Geass.
Because they're making a sequel series.
Oh, they are?
You didn't know that? Yeah, they're making a sequel series, bro, and Lelouch is the starring. He's not dead.
Fuck, what is the name of this anime? Ah.
I think it's like, what is the new series called? Let's see. New Code Geass series name. Lelouch of the Resurrection. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Yay, Lelouch is in. And Code Geass is one of my favorite characters ever, and that is Jeremiah. Jeremiah Orange Gottwald. I love that guy. It's a great character.
Shit. Okay, where is it? Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. While you're looking, I'm putting out an all points bulletin to Canada. So Zero can hear us in the background. Whoever's in Canada needs to call up the company and ask them, call it Fresh TV, and ask them why there is no new season of Total Drama. All you Canadian people, go do that.
Oh, okay, I've got it. It's called Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun.
The hell
It's
is Monthly
a comedy
Girls?
/ romance show. The entire base of the show is that the main girl flubs on her confession to the main guy, and he's completely oblivious. And so instead of saying, instead of saying confessing her love for him, she says that she's his fan, and he's secretly a mangaka. So he's like, "How did you know about my second life?"
Is it the is it the dark hair girl, the blonde girl, or the short red hair girl?
Short red hair girl.
Oh, okay.
It's Monthly Girls Nozaki.
Wow, the guy looks boring.
It's one of those school animes that actually does something different.
And you know what? I'll say this. I will end by saying this about anime.
Yeah.
I taught in a Tokyo middle school. A Tokyo middle school. Those children couldn't save money with coupons, let alone the world. I'm breaking everyone's view that these junior high kids could do Your Lie in April or Sailor Moon. No, these kids could not save the environment by recycling. They have the ability to do anything. I'm sorry, junior high Japanese kids. Nope, no world saving. They can barely tie their shoes and get a C+ on their English tests.
Well, maybe they could win a Beyblade tournament.
Maybe, but no. All these saving the world ones. I'm like, you are not remotely like of the brain, like the emotional or physical or anything level to do that. I'm sorry, you're not.
Did you hate your class or something like that?
No, it's just the fact that they're like American junior high kids, and the fact that they're not saving any worlds. They're not.
Well,
they're not. Japanese junior high kids are not these super high leveled superheroes level of intelligence. Nope, they're normal junior high kids.
Well, there you have it, right from the horse's mouth.
And by the way, I'm still serious. What? Go call Fresh TV Zero. Tell them to release another Total Drama season.
God damn it! You're worse than my buddy Riley, who's obsessed with that show.
And tell him to bring Ezekiel back. We need Ezekiel back.
Okay, God. Jeez.
And we should also get Ko back. Yeah. Not Ko, we should get Ava back. Get Ava back.
Let me end the goddamn podcast.
Oh, and Izzy would be good to bring back too, actually.
So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching another episode. I am always Zeromaster, and I want to say thanks again to my guest, Brandon, aka Vegeta3986, aka that guy who does things.
Will's hopefully in the near future.
Yeah. Anyways, see you guys next time.